Alice Rawsthorn and I write about design for the International New York Times. The title of my talk is Design Today, and it's looking at the challenges and opportunities facing designers today and in the future. So this will take in everything from technological advances, the environmental crisis, the refugee crisis, and the home of the future. I think Open the Doors is a really great and timely theme for Habitare because there has been a significant shift in the way we live, and so the way we are going to need our homes to be designed in the future. Sharing has become increasingly important socially, economically and culturally, so there are all sorts of interesting experiments with the way we live, from projects like Commune in New York, the shared living spaces, to similar initiatives here in Europe. I think some of the most interesting social phenomena of the moment are technological. So one of my favourite recent Finnish design projects is a data visualization project of the refugee crisis by Lucify. And so they have crunched a lot of very complex data to explain a very important but very complicated political phenomenon clearly and accessibly. Similarly, some of my favourite examples of everyday design are touch-sensitive software devices. There's a brilliant American designer called Lauren Brichter, and he's designed things like slide to refresh, when you literally tug down the top of your phone or tablet screen to refresh your email or text. I think little gestures like that, obviously they're technologically incredibly complicated to design and program, but small gestures like that I think make us engage with technology in a much more intimate and enjoyable way. Well, if we think of the home in the traditional architectural sense as a structure where we feel we belong, that will give us shelter, where we can be happy, we can feel protected and nurtured, then that's increasingly important at such a volatile time. It's also heartbreaking to recognise that for many people that isn't a dream that they can ever expect to realise. So I think home means more and more abstract things to many people. If you're a refugee who hasn't got a home, or even somebody who's young with not much money, living in an expensive city like London, who really doesn't have a hope of finding affordable houses to live in, the notion of home in the traditional sense is very elusive, but something else does replace it. I think people always find something to sort of seek emotional strength from, and that's one of our great resources as human beings. Sustainability in the sense of environmental and ethical responsibility has got to become a mass market phenomenon, and because I think people are increasingly going to expect it as a given, and they're going to progressively become less and less tolerant of manufacturers, retailers and designers who don't deliver it. One of the fascinating phenomena recently is the resurgence of interest in artisanal production and craftsmanship, and I think this is partly a reaction against digital technology in an age when we spend more and more of our time devouring information and entertainment from digital screens. It seems fairly obvious that we should crave something that's more intimate, authentic, random, quirky and idiosyncratic. So craftsmanship, which had become rather unfashionable for many years, has become more and more interesting in itself, and more people are interested in it. And I think this is a very positive thing. It's been fantastic to see contemporary artists and designers relishing the challenge of working with artisanal processes and experimenting with craft concepts. I think all of us have an object or objects that have belonged to other people before they belong to us, typically a member of our family, and undoubtedly these objects are very rich in meaning for us. They're very, very important because of the memories they conjure and their emotional associations. I mean, Artec did a fantastic project a decade or so ago when it exhibited and then sold a lot of the second-hand Alvar Aalto wooden stools and chairs. I mean, they're used here to furnish the cafe at Dover Street Market, which is one of the most fashionable shops in London. And I think that was a really sensitive and special way of proving just how rich and wonderful those objects can be. I think Finnish design has got an enormous amount going for it. You've got an incredible modernist design history in Finland, you've got a great craft and folkloric history, and also great technological expertise. Those are probably the three core things that any country needs to be a real force in design in the 21st century. Well, the things that are especially important to me inevitably are the ones that have the greatest emotional association. So mundane though it seems, my mother's sewing kit is incredibly important to me because it reminds me of her, and it reminds me of being a little girl when she taught me how to sew. I mean, I've also got objects that friends have given me. Helle Jongerius, the Dutch designer, is a great friend. I love her work, and it's been wonderful to see it evolve over the years. And for my 50th birthday, she gave me one of her, they're called red and white vases, but she painted it British motor racing green, especially for me. And so it reminds me of Helle and our friendship, and it's a beautiful object in any event. So that's a really lovely thing to have. Also, I'm a great reader, and so I love my books. I think it was Susan Sontag who said, "Home is where your books are," and I would tend to agree with that. Well, I'm hoping to be surprised at Habitare. I haven't been to Finland for a couple of years. I'm very interested in Finnish design, so I'll be really interested to see what's going on.